9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. I was not in the screen. I'm sorry. Talking away to myself there I was. This is what happens when I don't have Ray. It's terrible. It's Happy Independence Day. Happy 4th of July. People say, Rokk, you're British. We're celebrating like beating you guys and being independent. I know, but that was like, 400 years ago or whatever. I mean, I wasn't around then. I don't care. I'm pleased for you. I wouldn't have been happy either if I wanted independence. That's fair enough, isn't it? How are you, Vet? How are you, Ryan Reaver? Good to see you, my friend. You got Sanchez in the chat. Hopefully you guys are hearing me okay, and all is well. I might just shrink that down a bit, actually, so that you get to see the whole of the chat. There we go. How are you? Welcome to Rokk minus Ray, but only for this week. It's a public holiday. Can't expect the fella to work on a public holiday. He's got family duties to perform, and that's absolutely fine. I'm just going to turn my volume up. Here we go. There it is. I can hear myself a bit better. Yeah, there we are. Hope you're well. And having a fantastic time. Time-wise, let's have a look. What are we here? We have, we're 9:05 on the East Coast. I don't know if that's East or West. And we are, we're 9:05 on the West Coast. And we're 6 minutes past midday on the East Coast. There you go. 248 years of freedom. Well, not really freedom, because I mean, we carried on trading and stuff, didn't we? And you adopted our language. Yeah. But it's a big old day today. Not only is it your Independence Day, which in itself is great, but we have our general election, the equivalent of your November election. We have in ours today. Big day for us. See, the thing is, you may or may not, I'm not going to go into deep politics, don't worry. It's going to give you a very, very tiny history lesson. We've just had 248 years of independence. It's interesting to know So we have been pretty much, would you, mate? Would you be right as being president? Oh, bless you. We've pretty much had the Conservative Party as our government in power for the last 200 years, believe it or not. Most of the time, they have been the ruling party, the most successful party in the world. And not, there's reasons. It's some of it is a bit like your electoral colleges. It's a bit of a fly in the ointment that can enable a party to continue in power, even if it isn't necessarily the most popular one. This time around, they've soiled their pants, bless them. And the public are not standing for any more of it. The public are revolting, not quite in the French way, but pretty darn close. So, yeah, we've got a big old, France. Yeah, France has got it all going down. I'm in France in a couple of weeks for the Olympics, which is interesting. As you guys may or may not know, the sport that I most closely follow is rugby union, to be fair, which is, rugby union is the form of rugby that is mainly played in the world. There is also rugby league, but it is rugby union that I don't really know the rules of rugby league, to be fair. But here's the thing. So the very first sport that we're watching when we go to France, to Paris in a couple of weeks for the Olympics is rugby sevens, which basically means instead of 13, 14 players, there's half, there's 7. So it just makes it a bit quicker and a bit more pokey rather than a big long. Anyway, here's the thing. Britain's not in it. Team GB didn't qualify for the rugby. But America did. So I'm gonna wear I actually do have a 4th of July shirt, which I should have worn today. I didn't give it a thought. That's one of my favorite shirts. I wore it. I bought it when we were in America for 4th of July a few years back. Went to Disney. We're in Florida, went to Disney and celebrated 4th of July down there with the fireworks. And it's just amazing. So I've got this gorgeous polo shirt it's got the flag and 4th of July and stuff. So I might take that with me, and then I'll cheer on Team USA for the rugby. Actually, Ireland are playing as well, but not Northern Ireland, which is part of the UK, I think. Something like that, anyway. Hope you're well, guys. You did modify the language. It's true, Vet. Although, in many ways, I think you made it better. I mean, let's take that beautiful light metal that we call aluminium and you call aluminum. Now, here's the thing. The scientist who originally developed the formulation for said metal wanted it to be called aluminum. It's a fact. But in Britain, they was overruled, and they said, no, we need to call it something like aluminium. So you guys actually got it right. So I ain't knocking you. Anyway, whatever you're doing, whether it's in the afternoon or if it's in the morning, depending where you are, or of course somewhere in between in any of the other parts of the US, I hope you have a fantastic day. I'm sure you're going to be having family fun. And maybe a barbecue, maybe get a nice barbecue in and a few beers, watch some sports, that kind of stuff. I'm sure you'll have a fantastic day. Getting back to gaming, it's been a great week for me. I've been playing Destiny again, as you know. That's been my game of choice of late. But also I've been playing a lot of the first Defendant. I was in court there for a bit. The first Descendant, which is a stonker. President Rokk. Yeah, it does have a ring to it. You're right, mate. You're right. I'm slightly out of focus. It's my fault. I don't have the camera in the right place, but we'll survive, won't we? We'll survive. President Rokk does have a kind of feel to it. The only problem is I don't qualify in any way, shape or form to be anything official in the States. And quite frankly, I think I could quite happily, I could envisage they won't even let me in there'll come a time where they'll look on social media and go, an undesirable. We don't want him. Get out of here. I could see that happening for me. I could be barred from the States. Oh, whoa. But yes, no, you have to be born there. And unfortunately, I don't have dual citizenship for anywhere. Sadly, it would be good to have. I always thought it'd be really good to have dual citizenship. You know, have your parents from a different place, or you just happen by pure luck or chance to have been born somewhere that wasn't your main residence, and you end up with dual citizenship. I'm sure there are some people that plan that. Like, we're only on the 8th month. We're going to head down to Australia or Barbados or something. Have I bought anything in the Steam summer sale? No, I haven't, mate, to be honest. I have been just deeply playing Destiny. In fact, today, I pretty much maxed out the season. I got level 100 Guardian power level, because there's these two things in Guardian. There's one that you've got to do a lot of really quite heavy duty stuff, and I'm at number 6. I can get to number 7, but I need to do a task that requires 3 people, and I've only got one mate in the whole world, so I don't know how to get that one finished. But then there's like a battle pass, the season pass, and it goes up to 100, which you get by doing stuff. You get XP, and then it unlocks a load of stuff along the way. And then, so I got to 100 today, which I don't think I've ever got that far in Destiny 2 ever. And so that happened today, and then I've got to wait another 2 weeks for the next part of the season to come out, where it goes back to 1. Actually, it goes 101 to 200, and then there's a third and final part, at some point down the road, which I'll do then. So I've been enjoying a lot of that. And as I said, the first Descendant, which is actually really good. If you guys, it's free to play. So, I mean, even on console. So I installed it on my PS5 and also on Steam. When it first launched, it hadn't come to GeForce Now. It has now. We'll cover that in a minute. A couple of days after it launched. So I've also got it from Steam, and I've been playing it on GeForce Now. It's actually really good. It reminds me a bit of, well, it's got a kind of Destiny-esque, but it's also a lot like Outriders. Remember Outriders? Hello, David. How are you, my friend? Good to see you, buddy. So a bit like Destiny, a bit like Outriders, and also a little bit like Warframe. So it's an RPG with a battle pass, free to play, that kind of thing. Like all these games, you don't have to pay. I never do. But if you want multiple characters and you want to get in on the season pass, and I think they're going to restrict the amount of territory that you can play, because it's all lots of little maps with stuff going on. But it's lots of little tiny missions and battles and stuff, and definitely a game to play with friends. Not because it's difficult. It's not difficult at all. But just because there's lots of stuff that you kind of gets a bit. You just want to kind of do it with your mates. You know what I mean? So I would definitely recommend playing it with friends. Now, before we head over to the news, as we always do on a Thursday, I need to set that up, because I have a horrible feeling. Let me just go here. That I haven't got it working. Let me just bear with, as my mum says. Bear with. There we go. Perfect. Right, let's get over to the new transition in a nice way. Here we go. Hey, how's that? We've even got some music as well. We've got the old rock around the clock music. So, what's going on, GeForce Now? Well, as we just mentioned, of course, 22 games. I'll read this with you guys because I haven't had the time, but 22 new games coming in July. It's pretty good ones as well, I am reliably informed. They've got 4 that have come out this week. The Falconeer, the First Descendant, of course, Star Traders, and Wuthering Waves, not to be confused with Kate Bush. I don't think Kate had anything to do with this, but there is something that's really interesting about this game. I don't know much about the game. I think it's a little Japanese RPG thing. You know, they love them, don't they? But here's the thing that I want to point out, because I didn't spot this first time around. Somebody else pointed this out, but it's actually really good. So look, as you know, in the main, GeForce Now works with a number of stores, Epic Games, Steam, Ubisoft, GOG, Xbox, of course, PC Game Pass. But look at this, native. So as far as I'm aware, and I may be wrong, this is the first game that has not come from one of their store partners. It's a game that you can literally buy directly from the developer stroke studio stroke publisher and connect it with GeForce Now. I think this is brilliant, because the implication is that you don't have to necessarily give 30% of your revenue anymore to Epic or Steam excuse me, to be able to connect it up with GeForce. I don't know whether this is a one-off, an experiment, or whether they're just the first studio that's ever asked if they can do this. But I think that's really encouraging, because it opens the door for independent, smaller studios to say, and you know how it works. Look at this. So, as GeForce Now subscribers, we're always thirsty for more games, and they always get promoted. Any new games that hit the platform get promoted, get really good promotion from NVIDIA, and obviously the ambassadors and us partners. So here we are, Wuthering Waves, a native game, also obviously available on Epic as well, but one of only 4 games this week, so it gets top billing, which is great if you're a relatively small studio. And I don't know what the criteria are. I mean, for all I know, NVIDIA, GeForce Now might say, well, you've got to have form, because ultimately, if they're going to give you access to their platform, they can't have you suddenly disappear a week later. It doesn't look good, does it? So, I don't know what the criteria are, but it's great to see it nonetheless. We'll have a little look in a minute as well, see what we think of that. And then there's all these other games coming. Once Human, Angerfoot, The Crust, Gestalt, Steam and Cinder, Flintlock, which I know a lot of people are really looking forward to, Dungeons of Hinterberg, Norland. I didn't know it was free to play either, actually, Adam, so thank you for that, my friend. I really, it kind of passed me by. As, of course, is the First Descendant, so that's 2 free-to-play games this week. That's absolutely awesome. Norland Cataclysmo Conscript F1 Manager 24, Earth Defense Force 6, Stormgate Early Access, Cyber Knights Flashpoint Content Warning, Crime Boss, Rokk City, Gang Beasts, Hawked, Kingdoms and Castles. See, Reaver knew. Reaver's got his finger on the pulse. And me and my brother. They had a jam-packed June. They go over some of the games. Some of these are games which weren't necessarily announced at the beginning of June, because they may not have been ready, or they were latecomers. But Killer Clowns from Outer Space, the game, I think Ray played that one and enjoyed it. Beyond Good and Evil, 20th anniversary, we had a look at that one last week. Drug Dealer Simulator 2, I'm not going to judge. Sea of Thieves, of course, massive game. Needs no introduction. Sky the Misty Isle, X-Defiant. Tell Me Why, Talk Drift 2 didn't make it in June, says NVIDIA GFN, but stay tuned for Thursday updates. So that one hopefully will be coming out in July. I, of course, have been desperately trying to finish Still Wakes the Deep. But I got stuck on a bug, which I mentioned last week. And the studio said, or the publishers said, oh yeah, sorry about that. There is a workaround. I tried the workaround. I couldn't get it to work. And then some very kindly gent said, you need to switch between the story mode and the normal mode. So you flick around for those. And it worked. So I managed to get through the bug that was stopping me, only to find I died. And then there's an even worse bug when you die having not gone through the route that you should have gone through in the game because it's bugged. So they basically said, sorry, you're going to have to wait for the fix. Problem is, a bit of a first world problem, this. My Game Pass is up for renewal in a couple of days, and I'm actually not going to renew it for the first time ever. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to wait until there's a couple of really good games that I want to play, and then I'll do it on a month-by-month basis. I've got too many subscriptions, is the truth. And I've got to kind of manage them. You know how it goes. We're all in the same boat. You know, it's so easy, isn't it? Everything is subscription these days. Software that I've been using for years, design software, has suddenly gone subscription. It's like, there was a time when you'd pay your $200 and it was yours. And yes, there would be newer versions later and it would ultimately be out of date and all that malarkey. But now you don't even get a choice. You got to keep paying every year or you can't use it. Bit of a blow, really. It is a first world problem, but you know, I'm putting it out there. Right, let's have a quick look at these new games. So the Falconeer, I mean, we've all seen the Falconeer, haven't we? It's been around for a long time. The name itself always makes me chuckle for very obvious reasons. I'm just going to put any old date in here, the most irrelevant way to date check you. Get Game Pass free with EE. No, I do have EE, mate. That's the thing. I do have it, and it lasts for 12 months, and then that's the end of it. Otherwise, I would have just let it go on. So yeah, can't be doing it. Oh, and hello to you, my friend. Good to see you. How are you getting on with Descendant? I keep wanting to say Defendant. Just to let you know, warning, sorry. At least I tell you this. In 40 seconds, there's going to be adverts. I don't control them, but they do tell me when it's going to happen, so I can tell you. But yeah, no, I do. I am with EE. And I did get the Game Pass, but it only lasts for a year. Well, mate, I would love to agree with you on that. I'll go and have a look at it, because mine said ends on the something of July, and then it is X pounds per month. So I don't know what they're doing to me, but I am with them. Oh no, I'm not. I'm not with them. That's my broadband. That's what it is. Yes, it's my broadband. I'm actually with R&D Mobile because it was a massively cheap deal. Anyway, nobody cares about this. I know, I'm sorry. Let's move that over to the Falconeer. And we all know about this. This is this amazing solo developer who has, I think he's Polish, but he's had tremendous success with these games. And, you know, I think the first time I ever played them was on Stadia back in the day. They were part of the old monthly games thing. Yours is 2 years. Okay. Yeah, well, mine expired anyway. And the truth is, I had a look at the games that are coming up. You know, cricket and stuff. It was just not my thing. There was nothing apart from Still Wakes the Deep, which I can't finish. Yeah, it was a Stadia game. I'm sure it was. That's where I played it. They may even have had a couple of them, but either way, you can play it for free because we've kind of jumped the gun here. But this is indeed the free epic game for this week. We'll still have a look in a minute because it'll tell us what is free next week. But definitely worth claiming. Yeah, it was. Rockmer's agreeing. I thought it was. Wrong shaped ball. Yeah, you're right, mate. It is the wrong shaped ball. I was just saying at the top of the showcase ball that that's our first sport venue at the Olympics. We'll be going in a couple of weeks. Rugby sevens. And typically, Team GB didn't qualify. Ha! Unbelievable. All the talent that there is, and we didn't get anybody in. But I will be cheering on Team USA, who did qualify. So, and the weird thing is, there's no restriction anymore on whether you are a professional. And the RFU had actually agreed to let Premiership clubs release players for the Olympics. They didn't qualify. Huh. So that was the folk in here, and that's released today for free, as we know, on the Thursday. So here's the first descendant, if you guys haven't. Now, as I said, it's free to play, really good graphics as well, I have to say. I don't remember this cutscene, but it's a good little game, and it's not hard to play, but it's definitely a game that I think you will benefit from playing with your friends, because it's very much a social game with co-op and stuff. Hello, Sam. How didn't I know? I do not know, Sam. I was getting excited yesterday. I was messaging my rugby buddies saying, "Have we got any in our team? Are there any of the Chiefs in the rugby?" And they would go, "Oh, I actually don't really know." And I looked it up, and we didn't qualify. I thought, what the? How does that work? But it's how it is. So what do you do? Interestingly, it has mixed reviews. It only launched a few days ago, a week ago, just under a week ago. But I'm enjoying it. I had a couple of crashes. Because it's a new game. They've had a couple of things where they had to do some server maintenance and stuff. It's a free to play. I mean, you're going to get that, aren't you? But it's good fun. It's an RPG, looter shooter. It reminds me a little bit. I mean, you shoot stuff and there's loot everywhere, and it's lots of coloured, bits and pieces. It takes a while to fully understand the game. Well, the game's simple enough, but the way that you progress your characters and you put modules onto your weapons and yourself, a little bit like Warframe. So if you are familiar with Warframe, Outriders, Destiny, this is that kind of game. I think, don't quote me on this, but I think the developers are Korean or Taiwanese, one of the two. So it does have that kind of Asian feel as well. The characters have got a sort of a Bandai Namco look to them. But I'm enjoying it. I was in it for an hour before we came online this evening, just having a little play. It's Outriders with Warframe, exactly right, my friend. I mean, there's a little bit. It felt a bit more like Destiny in the earlier betas. They seem to have. I think they've kind of knocked that out of it. But some of the weapons are quite Destiny-like. But you're right. It is closer to Outriders and Warframe. I thought, when I set up with my character, my descendant, as they call them, I thought you could add more. So, like you can have 3 classes with Destiny. It's up to you, but a Warlock, a Titan, and a Hunter. Well, you have a bunny and a dude and another dude in this. And I thought you could add more in, but so far I've only been able to find that I'm locked into one, and if I want more, I have to buy that, and that's part of the whole, microtransaction malarkey. So, yes. That's what I heard Wisdom Scrubber does. Yep, definitely see that. Yeah, it's definitely got all that going on. Look, it's free. It's a fun game. You can dip in. I have no idea about the story. There's a story going on. I don't know what relevance it has to anything that I've been doing. It's just blah, blah, blah to me, as most of these stories tend to be. But you can work your way around the maps quite easily. You don't have to do it with a big old team. And there are like little quests and strikes and raids, you know, like you would expect in this kind of a game. And Reva's enjoying it. That's good, my friend. You can unlock the characters through regression. Thank you, Sam. Oh, Sam, how are you finding it compared to Guff Divers? What's it called? What's the game called? I can't get that out of my head. It's Stu's fault. Helldiver. How are you finding it compared to that? Because it's kind of got some of that going on as well, hasn't it? You know, if you've been enjoying Helldivers, it's kind of got a bit of that as well. No, I know. I can't be doing with all that story stuff, Caseball. It's meaningless because you don't need to know any of that when you're battling the stuff, do you? But yeah, no, it's kind of Helldivers meets Outriders meets all of those, all of the above. And if you like any of those, you look. Interestingly, in a thing that I only noticed a little while ago, in the latest Destiny, the final shape, in the Pale Heart, which is the world, if you like, it's actually inside the Traveller, but the world that is this season, the final shape season, unlike any of the previous worlds that I can remember, there's only you. It's not MMO. In all the other worlds in Destiny, in all the other seasons ever, once you've got the stories out the way, you go into an open space and there will be 4 or 5 other people running around doing public events and shooting stuff and what have you. You can join up with them if you want to. Not in this world, in this version of Destiny. And I'm going to put my neck out. I don't know this for sure, and there are people that really, really closely follow the Thursday Bungie stuff and everything else. I wonder whether technically they had to abandon that aspect because they were already overrun on delivering the game. Because it feels weird. You're playing it and all of a sudden you think, this is weird. There's nobody else. I mean, you can run around and shoot things, but you can do that anywhere else as well. Quite odd. Having said that, you can go in with your mates, with a fire team, 2 others. So, you know, if you want to, there's no great need, you can do that. But I just found that a bit odd. Maybe there's a reason. Anyway, here there's a load of folk running around. You can look on the map and see little dots as well, which is quite useful. So you can see people running around. It's a very social game. It's designed to be social. So give that a go. It's free to download. It's obviously available on all your clouds. I don't think it's available on Luna. X Defiant, which is what I keep getting confused with, that's now available on Luna. But certainly, definitely worth a play if that's your thing. And even if it's not, it's free. So, I mean, you know, what are you complaining about? Right, what else do we have here? The Defendant and Star Traders on Steam. That is a tactical RPG simulation. I have a feeling we may have looked at this in the past. Again, not really my cup of tea, but it's only like $8. So I mean, yeah, it's not a huge expense. It's been out for a little while, mind you. 2018, this one came out. I don't know anything about this game, but it looks quite deep. Deep is the word I'm looking for. It looks like, you know, there are some games, aren't there, where they literally are so complicated. They're like little worlds. To me, Destiny's a bit like that, I suppose. And I could see how the first Descendant could definitely go down that road as well. More fast-paced, and the controls are more agile. It's interesting, isn't it, Sam? And the other thought that I'd had, we're talking about the difference between Descendant and Helldivers, or the similarities. The other thought that I'd had, Sam, was that, and I've said this before, Helldivers I know had and continues to have a big following, but it's a bit of a one-trick pony to me. Whereas something like the first Descendant, and to a degree Destiny, there are multiple things that you can do. So if you get a bit bored with just landing on a planet, you know, running the similar missions and then just upgrading your kit, with the First Descendant and other games of that ilk, there's other stuff you can do as well. That's not to suggest that I know Helldivers that much. As you know, I do own it. I bought it, and I've only played about an hour in 2 hours in total. So it's not really my forte. And I'm sure that the developers are going to add more stuff in the future. I mean, they were blown away by its success, of course. But anyway, this is that kind of a game, I think, where you've really got to get your head into it. A bit of a card thing, tactical RPG, as it said, and build and moddable and all that malarkey. If that's your thing, it's nice. $8. What's not to love? And then finally, Wuthering Waves, which, as I've said, is available directly from the publisher, which is great news. It means that if you buy it from them, they don't have to pay the store fee, which typically, unless you're a massive game and you've got clout, you're looking at about 30%. So that's cool. I mean, that's why, you know, in a way, I forgot what they're called, Red Thing that did Cyberpunk. You know, if you buy it from them, they're happy to give you stuff because they're making some dosh. Thank you, Rokk, for suggesting. That's very nice of him, isn't it? But there's Wuthering Waves, and as has already been said, it's free. It may include in-app purchases. Well, I think it's a bit of a dead cert, that, isn't it? It's an RPG, as I suggested, even without seeing it, because that seems to be the bulk of games these days. You wake from your slumber, a la a lot of other games. I'm dead. I didn't sleep very well last night, and it's even worse because I'm going to throw an all-nighter tonight while we see the election results coming in the UK. It's a big day for us. So I can see me falling asleep very quickly. But anyway, yes, you wake up and you've got a vibrant cast of folk with you, and it's an action RPG and it's an open world, and I bet it's pretty good fun, actually. I know these kinds of games have a massive following. So do you know what? I'm tempted, given that it's on. I mean, for a start, of course, see, I don't know how it works. So, I know. When I say an all-nighter, my version of an all-nighter, Sam, as an older fella, is going to be punctuated by naps. I doubt I'm going to literally be awake all night, but the results kick in. We get exit polls about 10 p.m. And then by about 2 a.m., we'll have seen a lot of the results come in. And then they dribble in until about 8 a.m. tomorrow morning when the final ones come in, and that's when they call it. But I'm going to claim this, but I'm telling you what, I'm keen to claim it from Wuthering Waves themselves. And here's the thing. I know it's a free-to-play, and you don't have to pay them, and therefore they're not paying a store fee. And it may be that is why GFN are comfortable to allow this. But my guess is that if you download it from the Epic Store, then you maybe have to give them a percentage of any of the microtransactions. That said, number two, I'm only seeing down here the actual stores being mentioned themselves, so maybe it's not quite as I'd originally envisaged. Either way, I've got the music coming in. I don't want the music. Let's get out of here quick before we get a copyright strike. Oh. There it goes. Yeah, so who knows? I don't know. Yeah, if you want the, official stuff, there's plenty of other shows. you join us for the bants. That's what we're all about. Anyway, them's the games. I wonder what Once Human is coming up on July the 9th. This is interesting. It's a multiplayer open world survival game on a bike. You know what that reminds me of? Set in a strange post-apocalyptic, this is my kind of game, post-apocalyptic future. Unite with friends to fight monstrous enemies. This looks fun, doesn't it? So, no idea of a price, because let's add it to our wish list. We've got to log in first. I quite like the look of this, though. This is definitely the kind of game I could get behind. It's a multiplayer open world survival game, so that's the thing. That is my problem. I don't have any friends. You guys think I'm joking. I don't have... When I tend to game at very weird hours, most of the people that I'm likely to play with are just not around. So I tend to go in solo, but this is obviously more of a co-op-y thing. But I do like the look of it, though. I have no idea how much this is likely to be. Oh, in-app purchases. So it might be another free-to-play. That would be interesting. See, I don't mind that. I don't mind if I got something for nothing and I get to experience maybe 60% of the game. And then those that want to experience the other 40% can, pony up. I think that's fair. I don't have a problem with that. I wonder how they work on mobile, says Adam. Seems a bit advanced for a mobile game. Which game are we talking about, my friend? I kind of whipped on a bit there, sorry. I didn't see that. I also find it easier to play solo. Yeah, especially because I go through games slowly. Yeah, that's the other thing, Adam. It's a really good point. When I play a game, I do like to explore and try and experience everything. And you're right. You do typically find when you're playing with other people, firstly you're talking, which is what you're doing it for. It's lovely to catch up with friends. So you tend to miss out on the dialogue and the nuances. And then somebody else will kill the boss. You didn't even before you even get there, one of your friends who's a bit sweaty, taking the boss out. So it depends on the game. There are definitely aspects of Destiny where I could do with some help. But most of the time, it's really not a massive problem for me. Anyway, there you go. That is looking pretty damn good, if I say so myself. We know already, of course, that the Wuthering... Oh, I see. I don't know. Good question. Yes, because it did show, didn't it, mobile? Yeah, whether or not they have a kind of reshaping of the interface, that's a possibility. Yeah. Anyway, look, we already know the Falconeer is free today, and look at this. Floppy Nights. Floppy Nights. Oh, if only Ray was here. That's your next week's free game, ladies and gentlemen. It is a tactics card game, which is right up Ray's street, with game mechanics, which looks interesting. Looks kind of mobile-ish, doesn't it? It's that kind of thing. Fresh take on two familiar genres. Lead your knights to victory across the battlefield using decks that you've crafted with care. And this is interesting. Look, it's also, I don't know if you can see this, you should be able to. It's also available for Mac as well as Windows, which is this is a Mac. I'm using a Mac here. Although I did resurrect an old PC the other day, which is sat down here, and I've got it plugged into one of these monitors. Trouble is, it's quite an old PC. It's got an NVIDIA 2060, and which is not a bad card, but it crashes every so often. I was playing First Descendant on it via GeForce NOW. Not even a huge processor overload or RAM hog, and the machine froze. So I've got to be, I can't use it for serious stuff. But it's quite nice to have it's quite quiet as well. It's quite nice to have a little PC around as well. But good, I know, Reva, I wish Ray was here. we would have had fun with that. We could have checked out if Floppy Nights was available on Black Nut. That would have been fun to play. Oh, who doesn't love a floppy night? That's what I say. These days, mate, that's all I get. I had to go there, Ray. I'm sorry, mate. I'm sorry. But then you rode up. That's all good, isn't it? Epic Games, Floppy Nights. And then over on, I was going to go and have a quick look at Cloud Dosage, which we will have a quick look at. There we go. Is it good, Adam? Maybe it just needs a wipe. Yeah, no, I did wipe it. I did before because I'd given it to my daughter. I gave it to my daughter, and she had some stuff. She didn't use it. She uses a Mac as well. So I did wipe it and reinstall Windows. I don't know. There was always an issue with it, and my daughter used to have the same issue. And it went for quite some time without an issue, and then it fell over. So I don't know what it is. It's probably a defective. I see. I've run tests and stuff, and it's never reported an issue. So I don't know. It's an ROG as well. It's an Asus PC, but you're right. 2060 is not that bad, is it? I keep thinking in terms of the 4 series now, but of course most of us haven't gone to the 4 series yet. So 20. I think my earlier PC, which is my gaming rig, I think that had a 2080. So yeah, good enough for sure. Good enough for sure. Certainly good enough for GeForce Now, which, you think, yeah, I think it's 100% hardware. I mean, it's got to be RAM, processor, or potentially the power unit. But I've run hardware tests, and they've not come up with anything, so I don't know. Anyway, here we are over at Cloud Dosage. Obviously, they run through the GeForce Now news. There is a revelation here. Halo Infinite has a new 20-tier operation pass. What a big team battle mode. BTB, that's new to me. I can guess what it is, but that is new to me. And this is coming up on July 2nd, so it's 2 days ago. For between July the 2nd to July the 30th. So I know a lot of you guys love playing. 15 seconds to adverts. I'm just letting you know. I know a lot of you guys love doing multiplayer in Halo Infinite, don't you? So there's something new to give it a go. A big old team battle. July the 2nd to July the 30th. So one gone. There they go. There go our advert friends. I'll tell you a little story while we're waiting for the ads to finish. So I went out to vote this afternoon, as you do, with me voting card, and ID. Our beloved leaders introduced a form of voter suppression. You see, mainly it's older people that vote Conservative, similar to Republicans in truth. And knowing this, they brought out last year that you have to use voter ID. Does he? You have to use voter ID, but most of the ID that they allow you to use isn't available to young people. What a surprise. So they've basically said if you're old, you can use anything. Use your pension book, use your bus pass. But if you're young, no. Driving license or passport. Well, most 18-year-olds, a lot of 18-year-olds, don't drive in the UK. It's just ridiculous. Anyway, I was on my way to vote. Advert people may be back by now. Hello, advert people. I was on my way to vote this afternoon, and I was on the phone to my mum because it is also her birthday, 4th of July, bless her. And, I see what you're saying. Does he? I don't know. Does he have floppy nights as well, mate? Does he, poor old Ray? And I was talking to my mum, wishing her a happy birthday. And ahead of me on the pavement, on the sidewalk, I saw what looked like a mass, like a cloud of flies. And I thought, flipping heck, as you do. There's a massive cloud of flies. I'm saying to my mum, come on, Mum, there's a massive cloud of flies. And I thought, I'll just walk through them. Oh, that's not a problem. Anyway, I'm halfway into this cloud of flies. And I thought to myself, they're not flies, they're bees. I was in a swarm of bees. I was, so I love bees. I genuinely do love bees. So and like with any animal, you know, if you wave around and scare it, you might get stung. So very, very calmly, I backed out from the swarm and went the other way. I don't know why they were swarming. I can only imagine somebody's destroyed their hive, maybe, you know, damaged their hive or something. And they're homeless bees. I thought, how appropriate. I'm on my way to vote out the current party, and I've come to a bunch of homeless bees. That's so appropriate. It was quite weird, I thought. Anyway, them homeless bees, I hope they're all right now. I hope they found a home in the end. They could have gone, you ready for this? Airbnb! Yes! They could have gone to Airbnb. In fact, they were in the air and they were probably looking for a place to stay. So Airbnb was quite appropriate. Anyway, welcome back after the adverts. That was my advert story. Luna has got 9 new GOG games, but we knew that they had GOG connections. So they've added some more, which is really cool. Beat Cop, Blasphemous, Bloodstained, My Time at Porsche. That's a good game, by the way. If you like your Dinkum or your Disney cozy games, My Time at Porsche is very much in that vein. It's a lovely little game. OTXO Road 96, another good game. The Falconeer, which of course, sadly for GOG, you can get for free today on Epic. The Dungeon of Nahulbuk, The Amulet of Chaos, and Tomb Raider Game of the Year. How cool did you like that, did you, sir? Did you like the Airbnb? I thought it was quite cool. I was quick. I was well pleased with that. Xbox is losing some games. First as an advert for the First Descendants, very appropriate. Netflix adds Minesweeper. Yeah, I saw that on the old Netflix games. There's quite a few games on there now. It's not even if you just have your phone either. You can fire up Netflix on your browser or your smart TV, and you will find those games there. And what's really cool, Boosteroid has this as well, which I was quite impressed with. I think Nvidia has, but I'm not 100% sure. I know you can definitely download a GeForce NOW app and a Shield Pro app, and I use them quite a bit. But both Boosteroid and Netflix also, they have these like soft controllers. You can download them as apps, and you can use your phone and stuff. They're pretty cool, particularly with these kind of Netflix games. Hello, Neil. Better late than always. Always, my friend. Always an absolute pleasure to see you. Xbox got a bunch of games coming out. And again, not one of them's of interest to me. This is the problem. I really sound ungrateful. You know, I mean, it's amazing that given these 8 games, but cricket is the most boring sport on the planet. Almost. Flock, maybe it's good, I don't know. Journey to the Savage Planet's been kicking around forever. Was that the one that Stadia invested in? I can't even remember. Magical Delicacy, Neon Wine, All-Star Brawl 2, Case of the Gold. I mean, they're just... Cheer's a good game, mind you. I played that on PlayStation. That's pretty cool. So that's why I've cancelled my Game Pass. Because for me, every so often they'll whack on a Senua or something. And that's definitely worth paying for. And then I'm happy to pay for a month or two. But Cheer's really good, mate. It's a really good little game. Again, it's in that kind of cozy, easy to play, but still good fun. So I definitely would suggest if you've got your Game Pass, give this one a go. It's quite nice. I'm trying to think now. I'm going to go to the back of my awful brain. Do you know, I genuinely am thinking that I may have a little bit of long COVID. Because I was only thinking to myself, I think I had COVID possibly 3 times. Twice officially, and once that was prior to it really being known. And I have definitely lost a lot of my ability to remember things since COVID. Now, it could just be age, in fairness, but I'm not that old. So and it's quite interesting because if you go back and, well, you won't be able to go back actually, because I'll scrap that thought, because I was going to say you could see it on video, but I've pretty much had it since I've been YouTubing. But there you go. Dig 2 were on there last week. I went and beat Dig 2 again on my Xbox. Oh yes, did it before on Stadia. Building a mini highway for horses. I bet that's in Minecraft. Yes, it is. I know what you're like with your Minecraft. He was Neil built this amazing roller coaster kind of mine ride for Minecraft. That if you watch Renaissance Man, young Stu, last Friday on his Pixel Perfect show, I think it's called, and he runs through it. I was well impressed, mate. Well impressed. Programming there with a little Neil at the end, and it was really clever. Good on you, dude. That was nice. He was so chuffed as well, wasn't he? He really was. X-Defiant finally available via Luna for Prime members, which is cool. I think, and I don't know if K-Spall's still in the chat, I think X-Defiant's free to play anyway, isn't it? Yeah, it is free to play. There you go. But still, nonetheless, if you don't have GeForce NOW or Boosteroid or any of the others, but you do have a Prime membership, which I cancelled mine, then you can play X-Defiant via Luna in the cloud, which is really cool. And there is an app, of course, for smart TVs and stuff. So you can even get to play in the cloud on your TV if you have one of those newer sets, which I don't. Season 1 arrives for X-Defiant as well. That's got a new patch. So if you've been playing X-Defiant, which, again, not my game, and I'm, everybody knows I'm not much of a PvP fan, but it has done really well. And I'm really glad, because Ubisoft have been desperately trying to get some kind of a free-to-play PvP game off the grid, and nothing has kind of been working. I think they've hit a home run with this, which is absolutely awesome. Nerds World, how are you? I'm really sorry if I don't see you popping in. You see, the chat's over here, and my eyes are over here on the news. So good to see you, my friend. Thank you for popping in there. It's really cool to see you. So that was Cloud Dosage, I think, as we're now at the top of the hour. That's us pretty much covered off. So let's go back up here. There we go. So there you go. I'm going to let you guys go, because if you are in the States, you undoubtedly have a load of stuff that you're looking to do. It's the 4th of July. It's Independence Day. For all you know, it might be your last. Project 25 and all that. Have fun. For us, it's our general election. I think you can vote up until 7 or 8 p.m. I got mine in early. So I'm looking forward to that. It's always quite entertaining to see. Well, it is if you think you're going to win. I think my party will win today, which will be good, I think. Great show. Oh, thank you, Reba. It wasn't that good, mate. It's nice of you to say. It was all right. It can never be as good without Ray. Come on. Yeah, you got to get out there and vote, dude. Get out and vote. No excuses. If you don't vote, then don't come crying to me when whoever gets in, you're not happy with. Doesn't matter what flavour. I don't particularly, well, apart from Reform. If you vote Reform, you need to give your head a wobble, because you're voting for Putin is what you're voting for with Reform. I can be political because I'm not broadcast media. I love your little icon there, Nerds World. That's absolutely cool. No Ray's praise today. I did toy with doing one, but it doesn't feel right. It's Ray's bit. And, oh, bless you. He does make it better. I do miss my little friend. And I say little in a pejorative sense, not a diminutive sense. I don't want to upset him. But Ray's praises for Ray. I'm not going to do a Ray's praise when Ray's not around, but he will be back next week, as will I. Hopefully. I'm just thinking about when, how many shows we've got left before I have to head out. Because when I go off to the Olympics, there will be no Rokk and Ray. Let's have a quick look at the old calendar. I can tell you that we head out. Let's have a look. Oh, look, Battle of the Boyne in Northern Ireland on the 12th of July. There you go. So, the final... We've got one next week. Let's get a month. Here we go, Thursday. Next week's good. I'm not sure about the week after. I can guarantee you one more this month. And then it might not... We don't get back until about August or something. So it might be might not be any more shows till August. I think there's 2 more. I think we don't... I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. I think we're probably good for the 11th and the 18th. Rock at the Hammer Throw. That could work. I might try and do some stuff. The problem is I don't know what the... well, firstly, if I'm not using Wi-Fi, then I'm going to have a heavily restricted broadband cap. I know, mate. Well, I know because we do the show on a Thursday, and I've got a rough idea. I'm not looking at the right calendar, that's the thing. Let me choose a different calendar. Different calendar. I don't have it in here. Yes, so anyway. So I wanted to do some streaming from the Olympics. I thought it'd be quite fun. Other than they might not like it if I film events. Just around Paris and stuff would be good, wouldn't it? A rock on the road. So what I've got a cap on data, which means if I was to stream it, I'd probably use it up in quite a quick amount of time. So I need to find Wi-Fi. I did buy myself a gimbal the other day. You know what a gimbal is, don't you? Oh, you're at Silverstone. Yes, I know you're super excited about that, aren't you? My phone signal, but yeah, that's the problem, isn't it, Sam? And it's going to be the same for me. There's bandwidth on all networks. So I'm not sure how it's going to pan out. But I might take my gimbal. You know what a gimbal is? It's that you put your phone on a stick and you film, and no matter what you do, it kind of always stays in the same place. It's pretty cool. I bought it and I have yet to use it. So I need to. But I have to. In the UK, it's not so bad. I've got a chunk of data when I'm out roaming around, but in Française, certainly in Gay Paris, I'm going to be restricted, so I need to check it out. But I'll try, and definitely if I can get Wi-Fi going, I'll try and get some Rock on the Roads in, which will be fun. See how things are going. It's all kicking off out there. I'm actually worried it's going to kick off around the Olympics. It's an ideal time to kick off, isn't it? If you want to make a song and dance about something. Do you have driving sim machines there, Phoenix? Yeah. Sam, are you going to Formula? Is it Formula One at Silverstone? Is it proper, or is it like one of these experience day things? I've never really got into the whole driving racing. When I've gone over to my brother's, he loves it. So when it's on, I kind of watch it, and it seems quite fun. But I can't profess to be any great knowledge, sadly, when it comes to the whole racing thing. But I guess that it's like anything, Daytona or rugby or football. It makes such a difference when you're there. when you're actually there with the noise and the crowd and the lights and the whole adrenaline rush and everything. And, you know, I think it makes a huge difference, doesn't it, actually being there, even if it's a sport that you're not normally interested in, or even a band that's not your normal kind of band. I think being there makes such a difference. You can really get that. I'd love to watch Glastonbury. In the States, you may or may not know of Glastonbury. It's a large music festival in the UK. They have big acts. I mean, they had Dua Lipa and they had Coldplay, and it was just amazing. Last time we went, Sean had a top 5 time. Hey, what have I missed? You on the Sims, you mean? Wow, I just suddenly had visions of your fiance driving round the track, like waving at Lewis as he goes by. How cool would that be? Right, you lovely folk, I'm going to go and get my dinner and get myself set up with my cuddly teddy bear and my big old slippers for my all-nighter, political all-nighter. Enjoy, seriously, have a fantastic 4th of July, Independence Day. We still love you. We only miss you a bit, and we're still cousins, aren't we? We care for you guys. We love to see you enjoying yourself. So have a fantastic time. If you are in the UK, it doesn't matter what you voted for. I hope you get who you vote for, and if you didn't vote, you get what you didn't vote for. Simple as that. Thank you, Sam. Sam knows exactly who I voted for. I'm not exactly shy on it. Please leave a like. Thank you, Rokk. Happy 4th of July. I will definitely be here next week, hopefully with Ray. And then we will go over the cloud gaming news with the normal bants. It won't be this boring old personage that you had this week. Take care, Reva, my friend. Love to Crystal and the family. And we will see you. Got to find it now. Where are we? There it is. We'll see you next week. Take care.